There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. And when she was good, she was very, very good. And when she was bad, she was horrid. And if you don't want to watch anything else, that's going to be my review of the Piper e-cig from famcig. And I got this one from Vapers Hub as part of Smug Faces raising money for March of Dimes. Okay, so what's the Piper? Well, here it is. And this is the box. And in the box, you get 2 batteries and 2 of these atomizers with tank systems and a charger. Let's see how it vapes. Now I've got this one, so it should vape very well right out of the chute here. Yes. It does. But the one thing that this e-cig should have come with, if any e-cig ever needed a user's manual, this one does. Because, well, how on earth do you use it when you first get it? Nobody knows. It's got a tank on the back. Here, let me get you where I can close you up. Okay, so we've got a tank on the back, which is very hard to remove. It's got a bulb where you're going to be pushing air into the tank. It's got a little hole there. You pull this off, you fill it with e-liquid. You put the cap back on. Now this seems so simple, right? You put the cap back on. And you slide it back into here. Well, actually, I screw it on the battery first. And it has, now this one's red, so it says Saturn on it. And on the flip side, it just has a V. Like the V are coming. That series that got canceled? No. And so I screw it on the battery. And so do you line it up with one of these marks? I don't know, but I tried it both ways. It doesn't seem to matter. Here's the inside. It's a little poking up tube filled with filler with a silica string. And then the silica string apparently looks like it goes down into the addy coil that's down there. And so the e-liquid's supposed to go through that little tube and into the silica wick and wick onto the addy, and you're supposed to get a wonderful vape. Okay, so I screwed this onto the battery, and then I lined this whistle up to where I want it to be vaped, and then you sort of have to push forward and down, and there. Easy, wasn't it? Okay, but Houston, we have a problem. We have a couple of problems on here, but let's stick with the tank first. Here is a, well, let's see. I've got a little clip I want to show you. But what happens is you fill this up all the way, and you're vaping along. And then you get kind of that, hopefully you get it in advance, a dry, burned addy taste. And I have found the best way to try to get the e-liquid down on there is push and hold. Push and hold the little rubber bulb. And you can sort of bite it in your teeth. No, don't go there. Push and hold. Pumping doesn't seem to do anything, but push and hold. The tank only holds about 1 milliliter of juice. So I don't care what they say on their advertising, it only holds 1 milliliter. and so once we get this vape down a little bit, it doesn't matter how much you push or what you do, you're not going to get any more e-liquid down here. Oh, and might I say, I discovered by much trial and error that only PG liquids work in here. Right, if you put any VG, any of my liquids, e-liquids that had VG in it, bets off. It's, oh my gosh, it's just an exercise in frustration. So yeah, PG liquid only. But I've got my little demo here to show you on why I think this tank system fails at midway point. Roll that. Okay guys, here's the scoop. This is my representation of the Piper cartridge. When it's full of e-liquid, like this is full of water, of course water's much thinner than e-liquid, the e-liquid's going to come out the bottom. through the wicking and onto the atomizer coil, right? Cool. So now let's look at it if after we vape down half of the e-liquid, now all we've got up here is a column of air. And so pushing on it doesn't do any good, like sponginess in your brake lines if you need to bleed the air out of your brake lines on your car. Air compresses, fluid does not. So now we've got nothing really to push on up here, and we've got no e-liquid coming out the bottom. That's when you get dry, addy burn taste. Yuck. So yeah, when the tank system works, it works really well. It gives that beautiful flavor that we all love off of dripping on natty. It gives you the, this really nice flavor and nice, thick, juicy vape. It's really nice. If you don't like any VG in your liquids, if you can tolerate just PG liquids. So that's not the worst part though. I mean, when you get it to work, it works really well. But let's talk about these batteries. The batteries, this charger does not charge these batteries up all the way. And I'm just going to flat out show you, this is how a battery charger should work. Okay guys, so this is the way a charger is supposed to work. These little chargers are supposed to put out 4.2 volts at 420 milliamps. So it's supposed to be somewhere around 4.2 volts, and this would be the current. I'm going to do the current, which is represented by an I, and this is time. So the current should rise, flowing into the battery, reach an equilibrium point, stay like that, and then when it starts pushing its current back, it means it's getting fully charged. And so when the current from the charger to the battery drops off, the battery is fully charged. And in this case, this zenith point right here should be about 400-ish milliamps. Yeah, that's what it should be. What I'll show you is that the famcig charger actually doesn't put out 4.2 volts, doesn't even get there. And then what it does is it comes up here and it tops off right here. So what happens is the battery's only half charged when it says it's full. So let's look at the one, my trusty Ego charger first. Okay, so here's my old school, my old Ego charger from my old Ego. Now it's hooked into the battery, Viper battery, measuring my amps down here, measuring my volts over here, and we got 400 milliamps at 4.15 volts. And now let's look at what the zenith numbers are when using the famcig charger and showing that it only is going to charge that battery halfway full. So yeah, the famcig batteries are 900 milliamps, and this is the last Ego battery I ever bought. It was from 2010, and it's 1,000 milliamp hours. But it doesn't hit anywhere near as hard as these. These are excellent batteries. And you know, I've been kind of poo-pooing the Ego all of 2011. I was kind of poo-pooing it because I was like, it's no kind of weak system. I should have realized when I saw how much the 808 batteries improved that they were doing the same improvement with Ego batteries. And, you know, they have. I mean, I was dead wrong. These new Ego batteries are super. So the milliamp hours, it's just tough to even continue talking about it because it doesn't seem to mean much anymore. These are just darn good batteries. They last, well, actually they lasted me, it was hard to even figure out how long they lasted me because they lasted so long. In my notes, I was getting like performance like 8 and 12 hours out of these batteries. And that's in heavy test vaping, vape. Of course, maybe having to fiddle with the tank slowed me down a little bit, but they just perform. Now, when you put them on the charger, the lights will go blinky, 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 and then you just watch the light on your charger. Hopefully you have an old trustworthy Ego charger, and the light on here will be red, and when this light turns green, you're done charging. I also found that sometimes the post gets pushed down by these atomizers, even as gently as you can screw them on, because you know I don't wrench things down because I don't want to get a short. And so without pushing the button on the battery, I sort of a few times had to wiggle the post up to make contact even on my trusty Ego charger. So yeah, you want to make sure it's making good contact. So yeah, there's three little, hang on, let me show you this. There's three little holes right here that should be, you know, LED holes. And if you can see that, it's blue. And you see this, it's blue and red on the bottom right now. I don't know why they have three here unless this is, they're going to use this tube for something else. Because the only thing that ever lights up for me on any of my batteries is just the top blue one. The other ones don't. When the battery's fully charged, this the LED on the bottom will be red. And I've got the numbers written down for you over there. I have to go look at them. But at midpoint, at average vaping, the red and blue comes on, which they call purple, but it's just a red and blue. And then when it gets down to weenie vaping, where the battery's needing to be recharged pretty soon, it'll turn blue, blue, blue. And short time after that, then you have to recharge the battery. Okay, so bottom line, would I recommend this to someone? If you're somebody who's smoking and you want to just get off cigarettes with vaping, don't go for this right off the bat because it's too much fiddling. Stick with something like a Smokeless Image Volt, or this, when they get them back in, this Ultimo from God Vapes. Something simple that works just really well. Yeah, these simple systems, there's nothing wrong with a vape out of these things. It's just, I think people want something that looks bigger and something, I don't know. So I don't recommend this for newbies, and I would only recommend this for seasoned vapors if you feel like you want to mess with that tank system. Now, the new Janty Neo I've seen is really just sort of like this, except that they put the little silicone thing where you can open it to put more e-liquid in on the side of their tank, and you know what? That releases the vacuum that's up in that tank. So if there was some way to open this in mid-vape to let air in, it would wick better too. So that's it. I don't have anything else to say. I wouldn't recommend this really if you want two great batteries and you've got your own Ego charger, good. But for 50 bucks, that's up to you if you want to spend 50 bucks on it. It comes in red and black, and I don't know if it comes in, anyway, red and black, I know that, I saw that. Oh, I might say, the atomizers in here are 2.5 to 2.6 ohms, right in there. So on this nice hard-hitting battery, it's a nice satisfying vape. When it works. That's all for me, guys. This is steeljan out. Have a great day. Keep on vaping, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye. steeljan.